Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Final Fantasy XIII. I'm the Mysterious JG. As I attempted to say during a recent Breath of Fire video, and couldn't really get the words out correctly, I am getting ahead of Breath of Fire 3 and what I have recorded for Final Fantasy XIII. There's a couple of reasons for this. I think I may have already mentioned that I might be having a change in living circumstances where it will be difficult to record this game, and therefore I'm kind of wanting to get it done. I'm also enjoying this game a little bit more than I maybe thought I would, or sounded like I was in some of the earlier videos, because now I'm getting into the idea of like customizing weapons for my characters, which gives it a little bit more interest than just the, keep going forward down the ongoing path with no divergence story. And also, I'm just trying to get to a point where I know I'm gonna have another round of grinding to do, so I kind of want to get to that point so that I can just go potentially weeks without recording and grind. Like if it's a weekday evening and I'm not going to record, but I've got like a movie or some other TV on in the background, I can just grind. It's handy to have that to do. So yeah, there you go. But generally I dislike it because I like to have people commenting on the videos as they are current, but I'm a few videos ahead. I believe as I record this, the first video of Chapter 10, you guys are probably watching the second video of, 5 or maybe it was even 6 that it took to clear that whole airship chapter, which ended with an exciting boss battle. And basically double-length video. Apologize for that because of me screwing up and failing against the boss and not wanting to cut it out. Because I don't like to really just edit out my failures and make it look like I'm picking and choosing and trying to appear more super pro than I am. But we had a pretty hellacious boss fight last time. After, some of these boss fights have been pretty intense. Oh, I forgot to set my timer. Excuse me. Some of these boss fights have been kind of intensive. Fighting this big flying enemy with multiple parts and big robot stuff, but that felt like it was probably a bigger act boss than previous act bosses. It's like the difference between fighting, you're going through the game and you fight Vampire versus fighting Lich. Or that might be a little too much because Vampire's not even the boss of his own level. But like when you go through a game and say there's various bosses throughout Final Fantasy VI, like that pre-Magimaster looking guy who does wall change, but not so frequently. It's only every 5 or 6 turns that he goes and becomes immune to a different thing, or it's a different thing that can hurt him. And of course, you can use physical attack, so you don't even care about wall change. That's not as big a deal, and you can tell it's not as big a deal as when you fight, say, Atma Weapon. So yeah, you get what I'm talking about. It seems like that Bartandalus guy was a pretty big frickin' deal. For one thing, we found out he's the frickin' he's like the Pope / president of Cocoon, and he's actually a giant monster god. So that's kind of interesting. It's I mean, he's probably still a less terrifying president than George Sears. Turns when you find out he was an ex-president in Metal Gear Solid 2. Sons of Liberty, but that's a game for another day. But yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff we seemed to find out in that last video, talking to the guy who we defeated him in a battle, but it wasn't like something where we truly destroyed him. And even playing through the game blind the first time, this is not a blind playthrough. I've been through the story once before, and I try to kind of talk like I don't know what's coming, but I do. But even the first time through the game, you get a real sense, okay, this is like the Seymour Guado of this game. This guy's going to be back. He's going to be a big deal. Seymour Guado is an interesting exception to the normal Final Fantasy rule because he's not the final boss. But you can kind of tell that he's going to be really important throughout anyway. But, he's not like Kefka in that he's going to be the final boss, and you don't necessarily know that the first time you see him. You can tell Seymour's like a bad dude, and he continues to pop up throughout, but he's not really the final boss. Anyway, no, this Bartandalus guy, yeah, I can kind of sense that he's going to be around for a while, because it appears that he is an evil mastermind whose plan is to destroy Cocoon, which is, kind of the planet where you guys live and where everybody except for the Space Australians are actually from. So it'll be interesting to see just what the hell's going on. And maybe the characters themselves can clue us in. Certainly, if the characters themselves can't clue us in, we can always read about what the hell we were supposed to have figured out, as we can do right now. To the amazement of the Lassie, the Primarch reveals himself to be a falsie, whose true name is Bartantalus. Showing nothing but contempt for his humanoids, he proceeds to casually slaughter Colonel Nabat and her subordinates. Bartantalus then shrugs off the Lassie attacks and, with mocking laughter, declares his intention to enlighten them. In order to fulfill the focus given to them by the falsie, he states one of the Lassie must become Ragnarok and bring about the end of Cocoon. Sarah's task is simply to assemble the tools to achieve this end, brings none of the others into contact with the lower world being. Her wish to protect Cocoon was just that. A wish had nothing to do with her or their focus. Confounded by the naked truth, the dumbstruck Lassie flee to the plummeting Palmacia on an airship provided by Bartantalus. Their craft is guided by an unseen power that protects them from Colonel Roche's onslaught and flies them towards the reality hidden beneath the capital of Cocoon. I did pick up on that. It was kind of strange that they survived as well as they did. But it's time for me to stop talking for a minute. I will do my best.
Where are we?
Can't do it. Gotta talk.
Looks like a piece of
There's a real Australian feel to this place.
What, you mean like the Bodum vestige? Something
No, I mean like
that.
Ayers Rock. I mean like Walla Walla Land.
Yeah, well, what I don't understand is after the purge and all that Lassie paranoia, why keep a chunk of pulse under the floorboards?
Good luck,
Is
Charm.
this what the Primarch wanted us to see?
a place for Lassie to accept their fate.
Yeah, whatever. I don't get that at all.
Do you really think our focus is what Daisley said it is?
Well, he's the focus guy. I mean, he should know. Why am I
You
talking?
mean become Ragnarok?
Rock and
Destroy
roll.
the Falsey Eden and shot at Cocoon. That's what the vision's telling us, more or less.
At least that's what I got from reading the plot summary.
So, we're back to square one.
Square one. Maybe MathNet can help them.
Mr. Hero! Cocoon calling Snow!
Oh yeah, that's really gonna help his mood. I hate it when men don't respond
It's
to my
almost
mocking.
Daisley wants it to come true.
Yeah, he pretty much said as
Seems
much.
that way. You sure didn't mind explaining it. Here's your focus on the silver platter.
do it then. Let's kill them all.
But that doesn't make sense. I don't get it. Why would a Cocoon Falsey want to destroy Cocoon?
Yeah, characters are mocking your own
It's a
story
Falsey.
game.
You know what I mean? Some grand design we just don't understand.
Parents just don't understand.
Hey, Snow, nothing from you?
Normally you're full of useful information, mate. Falsey thing.
So, this way?
It's just a falsey thing. It's like the appeal of Tyler Perry. Lassie don't understand why Tyler Perry would be funny. You have to be a falsey to understand his appeal. Except that Zaz is obviously a Lassie, so never mind. I guess the analogy breaks down there. This whole game's story can really be compared to Tyler Perry's Medea Goes to Jail, which I've, never actually seen, so I should probably stop trying to mock it. Well, I guess I get to chat with everybody. That's gonna be interesting. I suppose the game wants me to start with Snow.
So gathering up the tools for destruction turned you to crystal.
What did it do to Stud? Can I do something with the game sound mix? Because I can barely frickin' hear him. That's not gonna help. I'm not really seeing where I get to adjust that. I don't see where I get to adjust any sound stuff. I don't think there's more than one page of stuff either. No, I don't get to adjust the sound at all. I mean, I get that they're proud of their music. You'd think that people would have the option of shutting it off if they really wanted to, though. Alright, whatever. So if you guys can't understand what anyone's saying, because they're all whispery and, sad and crap, don't cry to me.
You really were an enemy of Cocoon. Just like the rest of us.
Just like the other one.
Wrong. Totally wrong.
What else is new?
I only made it this far because I thought we were the world's last hope.
But it turns out hope's the world's last hope.
Now, it's destroyed Cocoon, become a Seath. Damn it.
What?
Sarah.
What?
So gathering up the tools
Damn it.
Really were an enemy.
Okay, I guess
Just
I
like the rest of us.
probably should have already picked up on the fact that he's cycling through. So they make a big deal about how you need to talk to Snow, but that's all he has to say? I do not get the impression that had we not spoken to him, we couldn't have continued. I think that was just totally... I can tell by the map that there's nothing useful up here, and yet I feel compelled to go and look. So again, the game provides some pretty neat-looking environments that you don't really get to do anything with. There is only one way for us to proceed. It's down that hallway over there. This is the beginning point of the act, and as always, it's totally linear. There's only one way to go. So, like, what is this? We'll never know. It seems like it should be a door that could open. No idea. Do not know what this place is. Matter of fact, it's so vague and weird that in the Brady Games Guide, which is official authorized stuff, they have a whole section on plot analysis and what do they actually call it? It's not even just plot analysis. They also refer to it as it's an extras. What the heck do they call it again? I'm sorry, this probably isn't really that interesting to you, but analysis and speculation. It's where they try to explain the frickin' plot for people who've already beaten the game and don't know what the hell happened. And they have to say speculation because there's some stuff where it's just like them saying, we think this is what's going on. And that includes, what the heck is this place we're in now? This is never really explained that well. But keep your ears open, because I might be totally wrong about that. Maybe there'll be good explanations for it later. We also haven't checked the data log since completing the last chapter, so... Look, be elated tonight. Colonel Jim the Bud is growing frantic. All her carefully laid plans and contingencies are crumbling around her as a seemingly unstoppable sea rampage through the ship. To make matters worse, the airship's main reactor suddenly shut down. Jim was yet to grasp what is behind the loss of power. Zaz and Vanille were able to retrieve their equipment soon after escaping confinement. At the same time, the companions made good progress as routes opened up across the ship, and the sudden engine failure has quieted the wind howling across the deck. Yes. Now I'm starting to piece this together. As if guided by fate, the Lucia are reunited. Their success gives them renewed vigor to attempt the impossible. And now at last they know what they have to do. They will topple the Sanctum, overturn Falsey rule, and put the fate of Cocoon in the hands of the people. If they can just make it to the bridge of the Palmacia, they'll show the Primarch what the Sea are really capable of. A focus revealed. To the amazement of the Lucia, the Primarch reveals himself to be a Falsey, whose true name is Bartandalus. Oh, I already read this one, so hey, good. Excellent. Chapter 10. What Falsey want? What a girl wants, what a girl needs. Shortly after their reunion, the Lucie's newfound conviction is shaken by the Falseys masquerading as the human Primarch. If what Bartandalus says is true, then their focus really is the destruction of Cocoon. One of them must become the beast from their vision and doom the floating world to annihilation by killing the entity that keeps it aloft, the being known as Orphan. But does Bartandalus desire the destruction of his own world? Why else would he explain their focus in such detail? The Lassie cannot fathom his true intent, but there is no denying what a power of their understanding prevented their demise. Oh, that a power beyond their understanding. The airship flew with a mind of its own, evading Roche's attack and bringing them to this place, a sprawling relic of Pulse architecture nestled right beneath Eden, the capital city of Cocoon. Each of them feels lost and confused, but Snow in particular seems to have been hit hard. Believing Sarah's wish to be his focus is what kept them moving forward all this time, Now that he has learned that she, too, was an enemy of Cocoon, The very foundation of his belief has fallen into ruin, chico. So, in the previous act, they have hinted in those little plot summary things. It's something I didn't really pick up on. Which is that, because I'm playing an adventure game. I'm used to a small group of heroes having more success against a massive army of Imperial soldiers than really makes any kind of sense. But this game is actually telling you, again, in the plot summaries that you don't necessarily read if you're just playing the game for fun, it points out that it's kind of weird that the engine conks out and none of your party's responsible, and apparently we were supposed to gather that stopped the howling wind across the deck of the ship and allowed our heroes to progress. Similarly, the security breakdowns allowed Zaz and Vanille to progress. That something seemed to be like helping them make their way to the Primarch, Daisley, who is apparently known as Bartandalus, which I don't know why he has a dual identity with different names, considering that we barely see or hear about the guy before the first time we meet him. So his like alternate identity of Daisley is like, I'm surprised he even remembered that. That might not even be the real name. He's Bartandalus. That's what we'll know him as for the rest of the game. So yeah, it's like something is guiding you to find him, and then he says some evil stuff, and then some unseen power guides you to getting here and escaping. So it's like, okay, now for the entire first half of the game, our whole threat has been these Imperial soldiers, and now it turns out something is protecting us, and I guess we're supposed to wonder what is the power that's protecting us, but I mean, there's a pretty obvious answer, considering that this guy wants us to destroy Cocoon. He's like the evil guy. I'm not telling you for sure this is what it turns out to be. There might be a surprise, but you gotta be thinking, alright, well, the evil guy actually wants you to succeed, so what are you running around in the rest of the game for? Like, you have to figure out some way to not become a Sith without fulfilling the evil dude's plan for you, I guess. That kind of makes sense. That gives you some interest, but yeah, for the rest of the game, running around fighting stuff, it's like, no, apparently, if you do die, then the rest of the world is actually going to be, like, fine. Unless, of course, evil dude picks other people and tries to get them to destroy his own world for reasons we don't yet understand.
Wish I could say it was my piloting skills that saved us back there, but it wasn't.
I suck.
Truth is, the ship handled all the flying and shooting. And I'm not talking about some jacked up autopilot either.
Why do you know that?
He wanted us to make it out of there. He made sure we did.
How do you know it wasn't the autopilot? I mean, I trust you. You know more about the planes than I do, but it's like some force was flying that ship, but it wasn't the autopilot. The autopilot isn't that good. Okay, so like you're saying God was flying this ship? Perhaps some good God as yet unseen, or evil God who wants us to whatever. Yeah?
I don't know what's waiting for us out there, but we can't sit around here worrying about it. We gotta suck it up and face reality here. Snow's falling apart, so it's up to you and me to keep things steady.
I like Zaz. I kind of wish Zaz was in a better game. I actually do like this game. It has huge flaws, mostly in the just linearity of the gameplay is very, makes it kind of difficult to engage. But Zaz is like, yeah, he's a good character. I kind of wish he was in a game where he got to be a little bit more naturalistic in his dialogue. But I like this little moment here. Lightning, who is I like too, mostly because I just appreciate a character design for a female lead who is appealing without being like ridiculous sex object. But Zaz doesn't really know Fang. He's basically never met Fang. Like, they've shared very little dialogue. So in his mind, it's like, well, you've got this new unknown quantity, and then it's me and Lightning, and then the two kids. So it's like, it's kind of nice. He really wants to kind of be in a role where he can help and lead, and basically he's trying to look after, he doesn't really know Hope that well, but he figures they need to look after Hope and Vanille. It's nice. I like it. I like Zaz. Zaz is a parent. It's kind of an unusual character in a Square RPG. It's usually about, like, either teenagers or people in their early 20s or kind of age-unknown characters who could be teenagers that are in their early 20s. And this game actually gives us somebody who's, like, an adult who feels some sense of responsibility about the people around them. Beyond just, like, let's have an adventure, woo! And I'm already starting to feel a little guilty about the fact that I've basically resigned him to not being a part of my main combat party for the rest of the game. Maybe once I get to the point where I can really grind, I can go ahead and give him a leveled up weapon and let him sub in for lightning periodically.
Neil told me everything. Told me who else was responsible for Uriday Gorge.
But I'm not going to tell you.
Never mind. Now's not the time.
No, it's like he actually...
Wish I could say it was my piloted skills that...
He actually is like, yeah, you know, actually I know some stuff that you probably want to hear about, but, yeah, forget it. So Lightning is like, when is Lightning supposed to find out this stuff? And does she need to know... Where's Fang? I find it difficult to take Fang seriously. For whatever reason, even though Lightning is wearing, like, little short shorts and, you know, a kind of goofy fantasy outfit, I can kind of vaguely take her seriously as a soldier. Somehow I'm able to get past the cape, the half cape. It's a very strange little design choice now that I think about it. Because it isn't even like a crazy Tom Baker long scarf. It is a half cape. It does not wrap around her neck at all. I don't think I ever really noticed this before. But she's got the goofy outfit. Zaz, I'm not clear on exactly what he's a pilot. I don't know really who he worked for before this, but he's got a decent design. Lightning's just, sorry, Snow is just some guy in an overcoat. But of the four adults, Fang is the one that's kind of hardest to take seriously, because look, what the hell is she wearing? She's going around like a sports bra and like some kind of crazy monk wrap. But there's like no indication whatsoever that she's spiritual or religious. She's just like some tough chick wandering around wearing the goofiest outfit ever.
Been checking your brand? If you start to stray or take too much of a shock, your brand will change, and it'll be next stop XIII Central.
So pull out your boobs and take a look. I think it has been established. Lightning's brand is on her chest. Look at your boobs. You got to check regularly. It's, you know, part of being a woman is you have to check yourself when you're in the shower. It's responsible. Just like men have to have prostate exams, but they don't need to do that every day in the shower.
My brand's as messed up as the rest of me. Never changes. I might be able to get away with ignoring my focus, but the rest of you ain't so lucky.
I wasn't... yeah.
I don't even want to think about being the only one left. Herding a flock of XIII around.
So if you turn into XIII, I'm going to kill you. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you turn into XIII, I'll have to kill you. Yeah, Mom. That is a point. I've been wondering about why Fang has this weird white brand. I don't know if that's ever explained either. Other than the fact that when we get into their backstories and stuff, we may find out that she has already completed a focus and somehow did not turn into crystal. But that's like a very vague memory I've got. I don't really know what the hell's going on with that.
Snow's taking this all pretty hard. Seeing him go from being so damn upbeat to such a mopey wreck is making me feel depressed.
And all I hate is
I'm worried
guts.
about his brand.
I'm worried that he's not marketing himself properly.
Checking your brand?
Yeah,
Start
okay.
to keep that in mind.
So, sadly, this is going to be a whole video of just me yammering on about the last chapter and then talking to people and not getting anything else accomplished. Oh well. Well, here's the two kids who are bravely leading the way as the adults kind of hang out in the back. There's Vanille. Vanille is a character. I've got a love-hate relationship with Vanille. I'm enjoying her a lot in this LP because people have talked about my voice acting. I think by and large people who don't like it and just want me to shut up have probably given up on the LP and moved on and found something else to watch. The people who are left probably enjoy it, and that's cool. And people, please reconnect the controller. People are pretty positive about my portrayal of Vanille as my like retarded little Australian accent. That's fun. It's been a lot of fun to do. But as a standalone character, she is like a bubblegum elemental, but she's nice. It's a game that tends to be a bummer. She's a positive, upbeat character. That's good. But I'm really weirded out by the fact that I'm pretty sure she is supposed to be a sex object, and she appears to be like 14, maybe. You know, she is wearing an outfit that is highlighting the boobies a bit, and but she's got the pigtails. It's always creepy when they throw a character at you with pigtails, and they're supposed to be a sex object. And I don't think it's just me being a perv finding that she is supposed to be sexy. Especially because there's this one picture in the official Brady Games guide. So this is official game artwork. It shows her on her summon thing because, you know, very mild spoilers. The handful of characters who don't have summons yet will get summons before the game's over. But she's writing on her summon because all the summons kind of have like two forms, a sort of animal monster form and a more like a vehicle form. Or like, well, Odin is kind of like an animal and a dude. But yeah, they all have a form where their character rides them and a form where they fight independently. There's a picture of Vanille riding hers, and she's kind of straddling it with the butt poking out and the back kind of arched, curved so that her boobie is all... It's kind of like... It's one of those poses that you really don't see outside of porn. Neither a man nor a woman in like the course of normal life is going to strike a pose like that if it isn't for porn purposes. So yeah, let's chat with Vanille.
Don't believe everything a Fal'Cie says. He's telling us our focus is to destroy Cocoon. But who knows? He could be lying to trick us into helping him to do something else.
Some other focus?
We should listen to Sarah, not some Fal'Cie.
Sarah clearly knows what she's talking about because she's a bunch of crystal now. Look, I haven't really thought this through, but...
No matter what our focus is, we still make our own decisions.
I guess that makes sense.
Worst comes to worst, we can always just do nothing and wait for time to run out.
That'll be a really exciting video game.
No stopping our brands.
I wonder, is turning into a Seath really worse than dying? I mean, you turn into a Seath, you're just kind of wandering around like a monster. You're probably not... I mean, I guess now I'm opening up a whole philosophical thing I wasn't really meaning to do. Like, you know, do you believe in the afterlife? Can you go to, like, Christian heaven if you've become a Seath? Yeah, I don't know what their belief is about the afterlife, but, like, you know... after an unspecified amount of time, you will turn into a mindless monster and kind of wander around and probably get killed. As opposed to just kind of rotting in the earth, so...
I got on that purge train on my own.
This train is bound for purging, this
just
train.
Just out of Cocoon, and I believed it. I thought if I went back to Grand Pulse with that Fal'Cie, I might be able to escape all this. But I guess things have a funny way of catching up with you.
So she thought she was going back to Space Australia, and that's why she was the only one who was okay with it.
Everything about
that at least makes sense.
We should listen to
so I guess basically, if you hadn't already figured that out, she's telling you now. And we have hope.
So Daisley was really the Fal'Cie Bartandalus. The vision he was talking about was that crazy Ragnarok dream we all had when we were made into l'Cie.
And I'm also known as Mr. Exposition.
This Ragnarok thing and destroy Eden. Except we do that by destroying this orphan that gives Eden its power.
You've been reading the plot summary, haven't you? Yeah, I mean, literally, it's like, that's your exposition for the moment. I apparently have no emotions right now that I need to discuss. So I'm just going to give you the plot for the last act or so.
So Sarah's real focus was to gather
Oh,
a fresh
then
batch
he's
of
not
Sea
done.
candidates who could attack Cocoon. We all showed up at the Pulse Fal'Cie's place, so she turned to Crystal. Snow was wrong from the start then. We were never supposed to save Cocoon.
Well, I think
It makes a lot more sense. Not that I'm happy about it.
Yeah, I think we can pretty much accept that Snow is always going to be wrong about pretty much everything. Even the fact that Sarah is in love with him, as we'll see in the Final Fantasy 13-2. No.
Reigns should be off fighting the Sanctum by now. We've got to get out of here and join up with him. But still, rushing straight into the middle of the fight's probably just what Daisley wants us to do.
I'm still not 100% clear on what Reigns is up to, other than the fact that he seems to know that the Sanctum is evil. I don't think he knows that the Sanctum is actually run by an evil god who wants to destroy Cocoon, though.
So Daisley was really...
Okay, here we go. I should have known. Everyone has 3 pieces of dialogue, and that's it.
Are you ready to get out of here?
Yeah, I'm more than ready, buddy. So we'll get a little bit of
Gotta
combat.
apologize.
I'm a complete
Guys
tool.
wrong.
About Sarah's focus?
About pretty much everything ever.
Not like you to second guess yourself.
Well, it's not a second guess. I mean, I've been proven wrong.
Well, even heroes make mistakes.
Like my personal hero, Joseph Stalin. You probably shouldn't have purged
What
his
about
own...
your plan to protect Cocoon?
Oh, it's like she cares about him now. It's
Either
nice.
way, your faith in Sarah was strong.
But
That
misguided.
strength got you this far.
And now it's over.
It was all wrong.
Yeah. You tried so hard to convince us that you even fooled yourself. You've been a total idiot.
But you're my idiot, damn it.
But still. It saved me.
Oh, I
You
saved you. I
trusted Sarah.
saved your game on my hard drive.
Let that faith drive you.
Let me be your
Made me
liberator.
wanna believe.
You know, let's go. Thank you for believing my sister, because I never could. Oh man, I'm old.
Sarah,
And Stud.
talk to me, baby.
You too, Stud.
This couldn't be... I mean, those were just legends, right?
The Legend of Bagger Vance.
I want to say we're close to Eden, but it's hard to be sure.
And you're really far away from me, so you can't hear me speaking at this volume. I mean, look, she's all the way up there. Alright, well, never mind, folks. I thought we were actually going to see some action, but now we got another data log to read, and I'm pretty much at the 30-minute mark, so I guess we'll read the data log, call it a video, and I'll record another one. So we have the least action-packed video ever, but hey, we had hope providing exposition, so that's nice. So, chapter... Oh, the data log has been updated, but it's not with... Well, that's probably still time to end the video. Okay, folks, so when we come back, we'll actually do stuff. Yeah. But, you know, I'll be able to get right on it. I won't spend, like, 5 minutes describing where this LP's recording is in relation to what's posted and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to hop right back into the action. Or rather, not back into action, since we're not currently engaging in action. We will be hopping into action in the next video, because, spoiler alert, this big thing we're in is going to eventually have random monster encounters. We'll get to some of those next time, and I'll tell you what I'll do. I will do my Chrysanthemum updates off screen and just kind of give you a summary. So anyway, I'm Mysterious JG. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.